So I need those. I gotta get those out.
I got some more cards, so I'll give you. You can have mine, Mr. Lee. They sent a box to me in the mail today.
Hey, y'all mind if we join hands in a short prayer before we get started? DJ, you on there? You in there?
Yeah, I'm in there. I support Mr. Washington.
Reach. I got you. All right, I'm good. John, you want to lead us?
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. I want to give high honors to our divine figures and enjoy the camaraderie that we have here today. Move forward in success and brotherhood and the spirit of love and family of the community. That's all.
Has everybody signed in?
No, I haven't.
But I will. All right. So we have, looks like 2 guests.
New member.
2 new members?
Yeah. Quran.
Quran. Nice to meet you, Quran.
Definitely not. Way back.
All right. But so this is the part of the meeting where we like to have everybody give their give an introduction. So we'd like for you to say your name, say what you do, say what you would want to get out of the organization. Under 2 minutes. All right.
No problem. I'll get started. So, Quran Duncan, Morgan grad, electrical engineering. I'm an engineer at North Grumman. Been there for about 17 years. I'm a manager in systems engineering now there. Ted Arms is my mentor. He's always invited me to BPM events. I've attended a few events in the past. Reached out to him a couple weeks ago and said, hey, I'm ready to work. I want to get involved. Every so often I do that, and he points me in the right direction. This time he said, hey, what about becoming a member? And just went on the website and signed up.
All right. It's two sheets.
Okay.
So what would you like to get out of the organization?
Yeah.
Not what you want to give the organization, what you would want to get out.
Yeah, I understand. So I would say wisdom.
Okay.
From other people who have been through or going through maybe similar situations, looking at our community, getting involved in STEM outreach, so the wisdom of others who've been in that area or want to get into that area or doing well in that area. So I just want to kind of get some of the wisdom there. And then expanding myself through interaction with others. So,
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Juan, how's Ted doing?
He's doing well. One of them's back in Florida. It's like he lives in Florida now, so apparently. So.
If it's over 70 degrees now.
Okay.
Nothing.
So he's doing
General
well.
Body meeting. Come on in. Yo, look.
How you doing? How you doing?
You just picture the sun out here, John.
Willie?
Come on in.
Oh, hey, good afternoon, everyone. Will Simmons. I am Norfolk Grumman engineer as well, 37 years. I joined BPM back in October or so, for the purpose of serving. So what I want to get out of BPM is that satisfaction of serving. That's what I'm getting.
Right.
Ray White, I am a quality control manager, project manager with a design build company located in Beltsville. We do only federal government work, a lot of OCONUS work overseas. I correspond a lot of times with architects, engineers, electrical engineers, kind of make sure they understand the way we bid a job. We don't want to give Cadillacs away, we only bid Volkswagen, sometimes they get a little out there, so kind of get them back in. And I kind of want to develop a social as well as professional base, not being from here, but I live here now, so. Kind of like the company I keep when I come to BPM, especially that gentleman over there in the black shirt, Cruz, Junior, I call him. So that's me.
I know, right?
Mr. Session?
My name is B Session. I have a barber shop. I joined BPM to hang out with some younger guys, you know? Guys can give me a lot of insight of what the old guys need to do. Grow my clientele and to hopefully network with you and get barbers. I have a party each year. It's coming up May the 6th. At the party, we do give a scholarship to one of our clients at the barber shop. And the party was a really nice party. It starts off with a free chance to get a free limousine ride to and from the party. And it concludes with a mink coat as a door prize. All in between is top shelf everything. Thank you.
Okay, all right, so, hello, all right, everyone. I'm, Marty Davis. I'm a guest here. I've been a member here before, maybe a couple of years, about 2009, 2010, I was a member here.
Still remember that?
Yeah. I sort of fell out the fold just trying to get things together, but, my role is a web developer / system administrator for small businesses in Baltimore, Catonsville. I have my own business where I mostly do consulting work for IT, system management, software management, software as a developer. And my main purpose is because the day in, day out, I'm usually with a demographic that's not my demographic. So I'm here to try to build my connection again with my demographic beyond my younger association. My younger association is a little bit more raw. Yeah. So.
Hello, I'm John Leach. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thanks for coming. You too, brother. I own University of Harris Spa. I have an organization called Eastside Mentoring Group. My purpose is to become a better hunter. So I can learn how to become a better hunter. You know what I mean? To show other folks look like us how to be better hunters. My position here is to get them out fit in and make this world a better place. Simply, I'm a builder. That's what I'm doing. Building, put people together, and making things happen as positive.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is John Crew Jr. I'm a mortgage underwriter by trade. My role in BPM is the interim program director. I've been with the group for about almost 4 years now, coming up on the anniversary. A lot of things to talk about that we got going good. Right now, I'm helping co-lead the Pathways to a Purpose elementary program, where we're teaching young men different life skills. And that's started up in January, and it's coming along pretty good. Thank you for coming.
Good evening, brothers. Good evening. My name is Teddy Coates. I've been a member since 1999. I have held a few positions. Vice President, President, 4 different terms, membership chair, and now my new role is treasurer. BPM has a lot that has given me over past years, more than I can take the time to say at this table. But, I'm like my brother and like Mike. It fuels me whenever I am around BPM, whether it's for a minute, an hour, a day, a week, a month, a year. It fuels me. When I see things with this post on it that I'm proud of, and know the stories of a lot of brothers, it just always fuels me. And now that I've been in the organization, it's a lot that I have to offer and give that people form in the right way. But I'm still learning. I'm still open to that. And, taking you, me, and Hassan uses the terminology, iron sharpens iron, and making sure that whatever we do, we'll walk in the highest light so him can see us. I have 2 boys and 2 girls and 2 by relationship and a whole host of younger cousins. And so, every day I wake up and try to make sure I'm better than I was yesterday.
Good evening, brothers.
Good evening.
My name is Kendrick Tillman, also known as DJ 5-Star. So I love weddings, corporate affairs, fundraisers, house fairs, spiritual events, and educational events. However, I'm from Baltimore City, so I came here looking for you, gentlemen. So all the dudes I knew was street dudes that just follow me in venues. So it was like, we're the gentlemen that are established and want to just help people. And so that's what I was looking for. 10 years ago, so I think I've been a member here for about 6 or 7. I served as a secretary, I've now served as the vice president of the program. I'm just excited to be here because teamwork makes the dream work. So we all come here to take our little piece of the slice as our president, so eloquently says it a lot, and the iron sharpens iron, so I'm here to learn, I'm here to mentor and be a mentee at the same time because everybody has their gift. And so we can just put our gifts together to impact the world and meet our mission with to ensure the future of the African American male. I'm here for that.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Larry Lewis. I am a esteemed graduate of this fine university. I haven't been in here in years. This is actually my first time in this building, so it took me a while to realize that the Earl Graves School of Business is no longer on that side of the campus.
That's where I went first.
Over here. So my son and I had a field trip, so that was cool. And let's see, I'm currently a barber by trade. I own a hair care line. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I have a beautiful wife. And I'm also a part of the Economic Development Committee. I work with the Mastermind Group, and we meet every first Monday at Collins Seafood over at on Liberty and Outlet Road, and we start at 7 p.m. So if any guys are available, it's always good to stop on through and politic. And the reason why I'm here is because I've been involved with a lot of organizations, some of which I was just a giver and never a receiver. And I got involved with this organization because of the Economic Development Committee, because I was not only able to give, I was also able to receive, and I believe in reciprocity. I don't think that anything works unless, we have some reciprocity. And you can't show up a relationship unless we do that. So, that's about it for me.
Good evening. Good evening. Kathleen Razor, full-time entrepreneur. My whole mindset from day one, day I was born into a family-owned business. All I know. So when I think about, let's say, solution-oriented thinking, it's always economic empowerment. It's always the mindset of ownership. If you talk to me for 20 minutes or more, you might start a business. So within BPM, leading the membership charge, and one of the key aspects is to leverage each individual's skills and talents, because everyone comes to the organization with some sort of idea or some sort of passion or skill set, and creating different line of events and using the network in order to help that idea blossom. Also work with Larry with the mastermind event. So you come in whether you are a current or an aspiring entrepreneur, and you get support. The reason that BPM appeals to me is because when you try to lean on your own understanding to build anything great, you will fall, because in the absence of support, environment always wins. So you have to have strength in numbers, and this organization has so many talented people. So it's just a matter of bringing ideas to the table, and so many smart people make an idea work. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Good evening. Yeah, I'm John Harris. I am relatively new to the organization, a couple of years now, and I am a member of the membership committee. So please don't forget to sign in. I really appreciate that. If you're a member, kind of pay attention to which one you sign in. You don't need to give all the information. We already have it. I'm here in order to hopefully get a sense of accomplishment around my contributions to the community at large, and part of our mission of ensuring the future of the African American male. I want to be part of that. I want to be part of the solution.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Minister Brian Borley. I'm in charge of the Wellness Committee. My task is to bring health and wellness to the community, give alternatives of disease management, weight loss, trying to put some 45-day health challenges into the community just to make a shift in the paradigm of how we are living as African Americans. And also just put forth information on disease. That's the biggest part of it.
Louis?
Good evening, everybody. Louis Monk, secretary. We were talking about how long we've been in and what the situation is. Regular. So I've been a member for about 5 years. I used to be the membership secretary. I would say I'm on everybody's committee. So if you need me, just give me a call and let me know. You might have to call me a couple times. I might forget, but just stay on me and I will get the job done.
So what you do?
Oh, I am a mobile drop cleaner. So what that means to you is I will come to your job or your house if it's in the area. Call me to the Frederick or Hagerstown. I'm probably not going out there. But if it's in the area, I'm not even going to Pikesville actually. But if it's in the Baltimore area downtown, we will come pick it up, get it done, and bring it back to you. Dry cleaning, washing the clothes, shoe repair, we'll make it happen.
All right, gentlemen, I am Hassan Diggs. I'm the president of Black Professional Men. And my day job, I'm a project manager for Customs and Border Protection. People don't believe me, but yeah. So why I'm here and what I like to get out of the organization is that everything that we work on, I feel like I was associated with that as coming up as a trouble kid, yada yada yada. But what BPM has done is given me the opportunity to pay it forward. So you have to excuse me, I use a relentless approach to pay it forward. So there's nothing that's going to get in my way of me paying it forward of the people who have paved the way for me to be where I am. And I'm unapologetic for it. Now, with that being said, our mission of Black Professional Men is very simple, all right? You're going to hear me say 1, 2, 3 a lot of times. Because that's, to me, things that we do, or the reason why we do it, is as simple as 1, 2, 3, okay? Our mission is to assure the future of African American males. We do that by strengthening the male, that strengthens the family, that strengthens the community. It's just that simple. We strengthen the male, we strengthen the family, and we strengthen the community. Now, in front of you, you have a report. Now, it's a lot of stuff there. But what I want to do is I want to kind of give you some things of how to best look at this document. The third column, as you see partners, that's essentially what we do is we have a plug-and-play platform. Typically with nonprofits or community-based organizations, they're either somebody who has mentors, somebody who has mentees, or somebody who has programs. And one of the things we have done is create a platform where if you have one of those things, you're typically missing one of the other components, where you're able to plug into our organization and inherit those missing components. So as you look down the partner column of each of these things, you're going to see the partner that plugged in, and you should be able to understand what they are inherited. Now, although this is 4 pages long, you will see that a lot of this is small slices of the organization. So what I like to use is a NASCAR approach. if you can't slap on what you're doing with BPM and still doing what you're already doing, then it's not gonna work for you. So you can pick something else, or you can just be a member who financially supports our mission. So our primary focus is our scholarship program. Now this is our 25th year, and 50% of your dues goes towards the scholarship. Our second focus is pouring into men that pour into their families, that pour into the community. And then our third focus is obviously pouring into the community. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. All right. Now I'm not going to read this report to you because everybody can read, and I'm sure in your leisure, if you have nothing else to do tonight, you may get to it. But this gives you a full landscape of the organization from both sides, the program side and the operational side. Now, even though I printed this report today, it is a little outdated. So there is some things that I want to share that is not on here. Basically, from conversations I've had with members that they want to be able to know. So we have had some grant activity. So we was awarded one grant for $500 for our chess program. And we have 2 meetings set up to discuss two more grants that's going to be focusing on our youth. So as that information comes in, I'll be able to share that information.
Urban Children's Foundation?
So we got a grant from the Urban Children's Foundation, and then we have a. Oh, okay. And so and then we have the Digital Harbor is one of the places that we're meeting with, and then the other name it escapes me. But as soon as we do get feedback either way from those grants, we'll share with the membership. Now, I would say our main focus for our youth development is going to be our chess program. So last year we had a program called our youth certification program. And so for some reason I didn't really catch on. So we modified it and kind of took all the pieces out of the core pieces out of that program, and we put it into the chess mentoring program. And so what that is you playing chess. Now I have to admit, I got selfish reasons for having this chess mentoring program. My niece plays chess, and she's beating all the people up in New York. So I do not want her to beat me when she comes down to visit me over the summer. So you gotta forgive me. I got selfish reasons. But the goal for the chess program is very, very simplistic. Okay. It's a chess league, so we're looking to have 40 teams with 20 members. So a team is essentially a school or a location that has the kids. So that means 40 schools or combination of both. Now that number may sound high, but it's not, because the partner that we partner with already has about 7 or 8 schools that they work with, and the formula that they use it works. So our element of it is a mentoring element. So we have a reading element, financial literacy, a STEM, a college prep program that all layers on top of it. So we have some more information on it. If you're interested, please let me know. Do we have any questions? Anybody see anything on that y'all want to get more information on?
For the chess club, are you tapping into the chess clubs that are existing at a lot of the schools, or are you trying to set up something outside of that?
So we're not reinventing any wheels. So for the short answer is yes. For existing chess clubs, there is a method for them to be able to do it. So it doesn't cost the school anything to join. However, we do look for sponsors for each chess team. So, one chess team may be called Winston Gardens, because that's the name of my company, and so we pay the sponsor money to be Winston Gardens Knights or whatever, as an example.
Question, can a shop have a chess club is part of this organization you're talking about, this, only chef developers, or has to go to a school?
It could be a barber shop, and if you, so how this works with true plug and play is that you're a barber shop, you may not have kids there, we can bring you kids. So it's super simple, you just plug in. So there's a lot of information, and I know y'all gonna email me or call me later. One of the highlights is that we are partnering with the Baltimore County African American Heritage Festival. Culture.
Cultural festival.
Is it culture not here?
Not heritage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Culture Festival.
Cultural festival.
I'm looking for that in the
Yeah, heritage of the city. Of the city.
Oh, okay. So we're in the Culture Festival. So what does that mean? That means that we're working with them behind the scenes to help make their processes more efficient. But we also are partnering with them with our 5K. So our 5K is going to open up their event. Now, Kendrick, I don't know the name you gave it, but the black market, what did you call it?
Oh,
Like the business center or something?
oh, Black Business Expo.
Black Business Expo. So there's going to be a Black Business Expo included in a part of that. So we want to encourage all entrepreneurs to get booths to be there. So they have approximately about 5,000 people who come, and we want to try to help them increase that. Now they also have a scholarship program that they do, and they've been doing that scholarship program for 21 years. Is it 21 years, Kendrick?
Yes.
About 21 years. So that is going to be a great opportunity for us. Anybody have any other questions that you get?
So, the topic you just discussed, where is that for?
That is
Backpage fundraising, 1, 2, 3, 4 down, there's 1, 5K.
the 5K.
Would be the, there's another one,
I saw a 5K in the health.
This is the black market under economic development.
yeah, there you go, Black Market. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 down.
Now, the two more things I do want to talk about is the community festivals. Okay, the community festivals is something that Brian is working on, and it's a great way to reintroduce the organization to the community inside out. So talking about going to each individual community, well, not each community, but the communities at the community level, and develop a relationship with each community as we go through. The goal is to do between 8 and 13 this year, and I think we have 6 on board. Now, I call it a plug and play. I know it's not the reality of it. I like to keep things, as they say, super simple, but this is a health fair and a block party put together. So we're going to have non-profit vendors and for-profit vendors. So for our members who have products and services that you want to sell and socialize, we encourage you to support these activities. If you can't cover the booth rent, then we would love to have you there at Sweat Equity. To do it, and Brian, he can kind of say a little bit more about his ask of what he needs from the members, as he eloquently explained to me earlier. I'm sure he'll give it to you the same way.
Okay. We need some bodies to help out, pull these festivals off. We're gonna need some registration, some treasury, we're gonna need some management on the front line, just to kind of steer the kids and the adults to different parts of it. We're trying to bring in an inflatable obstacle course, and I need somebody health geared that can kind of help the kids run through the obstacle course. And then we're trying to do a little winner's circle on the back end for them. So I need some bodies.
And so we're doing, this is done on Saturdays, obviously, and it's not a particular schedule, but every one that we do is going to be an annual activity at that location. So Park Heights is the first one, and that's going to be April 14th. And so
9 to
hopefully
2.
that will be an annual activity at Park Heights. Now, what else does this,
9 to 2.
what this also do is this provides us an opportunity to expose their young men to the organization. And one of the things that we're also looking to do is a model of getting men in a certain area and then getting them to be able to support things in that particular community. So there's a school there, I think it's called Pimlico Elementary School, so that we would want men from that community to be able to go to that school, so that, you know, you don't have to travel an hour or 15, 30 minutes to a school out of your way. You can either,
So we're part of a festival, or what is this again, one more time,
so we're doing the festival.
from beginning to end?
Yes.
So how do you volunteer or get involved?
Just give me a call, we'll put you in place. It's that simple.
I recommend that you say what you want to do, so that you don't get piled on. Okay, if you say I do anything, then
Anything
I
coming your way?
grew up in Park Heights.
I understand, but
For that case, I'll do anything.
we're talking about what we like to have a franchise. So we're looking at doing a franchise aspect of it. So we got Sandtown, we got Leonard E. Hicks, we have, what else we have?
We got Woodlawn coming.
Woodlawn,
We have that Lafayette, Gilmore area, and then we're gonna shoot southwest and then east.
so we have those things. But that is one of the things that is the main push for the organization, just so we can get reacquainted with the community.
Brian, so you're the point of contact on that?
Correct.
So, if y'all have employers that like to support community things financially, please don't hesitate to reach out to them, to encourage them to contribute.
What are some of the local businesses within a half a mile square radius of that location?
So what are they? I'm sure there's a lot. I'm sure.
Is anybody approaching them?
I'm sure.
The festival on the 14th is at Langton Hughes.
Yes.
Leonard Hicks is June the 2nd.
So that's a good idea. So we got Corey. I talked to her, I met with her yesterday. So
Or Ramos?
yes.
Okay.
So she's gonna be helping out doing some logistical stuff on there. So that'd be something when you meet with Corey
Correct.
to put that on there.
Work out.
Now the last thing I want to talk about is BPM cards. All right. Now I tried a version of this before, didn't quite catch on. It was value cards. So with these BPM cards, I'm very, very excited about it. So what we're gonna do is it's gonna be a BPM rewards community card. So what does that mean? That means people in the community will be able to have this card and they'll be able to redeem discounts and services from local businesses that support our cause. Now, how are we distributing these cards out? The primary method for us distributing these cards out will be through the youth. So for the youth who parents are who are financially strapped and can't afford a lot of our programs, they're going to be able to use these cards as a method, as a fundraiser, to raise money to offset those costs. So it's a win-win. So the businesses, we don't charge the businesses to be able to participate in the program. The people who support the program are supporting the children, and that in exchange, they get a discount when they go to the businesses. So the goal is to have all the logistics set by April.
Yes.
And then we're gonna have everything set by June to start soliciting pre-orders, and then we're gonna release the card in September for 2019. So every September we release the upcoming year cards. That make sense? So for a lot of, we have a lot of members, and we always say we have these so-and-so members on roll. And a lot of people don't get the chance to see all the members because they're working or they're doing things, and their passion or their vocation keeps them away. So we do have one member here. I want to give him an opportunity to speak about what he does. Is the major? Do I call you Major Cameron? Or do I call you Brother Maniac?
Both the same person, I guess. Doesn't really matter which one.
Alright. So Major Cameron, we've known each other for a long time. He's very passionate about feeding the homeless, and so the brand that he has is Hip Hop for the Homeless. So he does concerts for the homeless, correct?
This conference is to raise money for organizations that provide services to the homeless.
Okay, all right. My wife was asking that question, like, do the homeless people actually go to the go to the shows?
Actually, we had one where it was nothing but homeless. We had one particular one.
Yeah. But like I said, we've been working together for a very long time, and his passion is really unparalleled. But I wanted to give him an opportunity to kind of share a little bit about what he has coming up.
Need to come up there?
Or you can do it back there.
I guess it's better, everybody can see you real clear from where I'm at.
How's everybody doing tonight anyway, first of all? Very great. I know we're all active in community activities and so on and so forth. As Hassan said, we've been knowing each other, what is it, about 15 years now, 20, maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. And I started a project called the Hip Hop for the Homeless, which we travel cities all across the United States, and we feed the homeless as well as put on events to collect money for homeless organizations. Before I get into all of that, about 10 years ago, I started an award show called the DMV Music Awards, which awarded entertainers from the region for progressing with their entertainment careers. We kind of discontinued that after, let's see, we ran that from 2006 to roughly 2011. From that point forward, I've been doing a community awards event called the DMV Standout Awards, which awards individuals for their activities in the community primarily. We do also award artists and entertainers, but primarily those who have been consistent in whatever it is that they do for the community for a minimum of at least 10 years. So last year, we awarded about 45 people, and 2 people who were awarded are in this room right now. So I wanted to present their awards right here in front of you guys. One, of course, is Mr. Hassan Diggs. If y'all give him a hand. He was the winner. The DMV Standout Award for Community Leadership. All right. And another community leadership award is awarded to Mr. Brian Borden. And once again, like I said, you had to have been doing whatever you're doing for at least 10 years to even be considered for a DMV Standout Award. Okay, I'm not going to take too much time right now, but right now I am working on a project real dear to me right now. First week of April, I will be going to Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos, Nigeria. We are bringing food, books, toys, and clothes to an orphanage called the House of Mercy, which is, you know, of course it helps orphans, street kids, and so on and so forth, and this is primarily in Nigeria. So I'm in a mad rush right now to fill up a shipping container with food, books, clothes, and toys. I've got 2 events coming up. One is going to happen Friday, the 23rd in Washington, D.C. It's actually my book release. I actually have a book coming out I have a book release party going on in Washington DC at Red Lounge. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to collect folks' emails addresses so they can make printouts to bring you guys. I hope I can get the emails and I can get the information out to everyone here. Or I'll at least get it to Hassan, who could, I'm pretty sure he can get it out to everybody. But at that event, I will be also collecting the non-perishable food items, and we are stressing canned food since, you know, it's traveling from here to Nigeria. But the clothes, the socks, and we're talking about children, so, you know, we need a lot of that right now. Right now, I'm talking to about 51 churches in DC about this. I'm also, I don't know if you know this, I'm a member of the National Action Network and NAACP, and I also work with the Nation of Islam. So all of them, I've actually been having letters going back and forth with the Minister Louis Farrakhan. So they're going to be very helpful in helping me get this shipping container.
So what's the ask of us?
The ask of us is donations of food, clothing, books, toys.
And then how can we give
Well,
that?
if they got a way to get it to you, I can get to you and get it from you. How about that?
Where are you located?
Where am I located? I'm actually in the DC Largo area, but I'm going to send information to two events I'm doing. Like I said, I got a book signing that I'm doing on the 23rd, and I also have a Project Nigeria fundraiser that I'm doing in Laurel, Maryland at the Quality Inn Hotel from 7 p.m. to midnight, and that'll be on the 24th of March. Right now, I'm there in April. I'm taking the stuff to them in April. I really need to be shipping it out Monday or Tuesday after that event. Okay. So that's my primary goal with that. Beyond that, I don't want to take much time. I'm doing what we call a Project 10,000. I've done a Project 5,000 in the month of February, which that's a project where we feed a minimum of 5,000 people across the United States. I have volunteers all across in different states, in places like Albuquerque, New Mexico, Boise, Idaho, and places like this, and definitely in New York, D.C., Philadelphia, Baltimore, Richmond, Raleigh, Charlotte, Atlanta. I've got volunteers that help me with that. And what we do is each one of them pledges to feed 100 homeless, at least 100 homeless wherever they are. And so we work to, like, for Project 5,000 to make sure we got at least 5,000 fed within a month. Now we're working on a Project 10,000.
So with that, do people just provide the funds? Do they provide the food? Do they provide the people?
Well, in some places, I send the funds to them with specific instructions of what they could purchase to meet the minimums. Because we usually do bag lunches, which contain a sandwich, a bag of chips, a piece of fruit, and a bottle of water. And I usually put a pamphlet of scripture in each bag that the homeless get. And so, in some cases, where the person has got the desire and doesn't have the funds, I send them the money.
They put the sweat equity.
And then they put the sweat equity in. So we do that. So like I said, with the Project 10,000, we're doubling our efforts, and that's in August. And I'm also working on a Project 25,000, which will be the month of December this year, which we will go there to feed 25,000 within the month of December. So, go ahead, sir.
Most efficient way for, let's say, canned goods in the near future, because Hassan is further south,
Sure.
and the rest of the group might not be, is to leverage the event calendar and just have a drop-off point, let's say at a happy hour, for example, or mastermind would be another good one, and that would probably be the best way to go with that.
He's number 5 where I like you.
Right. Okay, that's great. I mean, however, if you call me and you tell me come get it, I'll come get it, wherever it is.
The key is us getting it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
The easy part.
Yeah,
So
right.
what we probably want to do is have you collaborate with somebody and have you align your activities up, or the marketing of your activities or the efforts with our activities as a drop-off point.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a lot better with that in the future. This year, over the past year, I've been almost like a Tasmanian devil with this kind of. If the NAACP says go do this, I run do that. If the National Action Network says go do this, I go do that, because it helps me and it's in line with what they're doing. So I've been kind of not necessarily planning it it's kinda, I get the call and I run.
Okay.
You know, it's not, and so, but I'm gonna do much better with that this year, and of course, I do have a team of people with the Feed, it's, by the way, it's the Feed a Million project now, as opposed to Hip Hop for the Homeless, Feed a Million project.
So if you email me the information, I can get it out there.
Sure.
But thank you, but just remember that, you know, we like to take care of our own, and we like to use, as a member, you get access to our network and our resources. So a lot of people may not know all of them that you have, but.
Get my good stuff, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yes, so thank you.
Well, thank you everybody for your time, I appreciate it.
So at the end of the month, it's a holiday weekend. It's Good Friday, just the Friday, but then there's nothing on, there's no like, I know it sounds real ignorant.
Sunday, Good Friday is on April Fool's Day.
Okay,
It's on the first.
but there's nothing on Saturday. Is Saturday a holiday?
Saturday is the Holy Weekend, that's all.
It's a holy weekend?
That's what they call it.
They call it a holy weekend?
Good Friday forward, Friday, Saturday, that's the whole weekend.
So good Saturday?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
So with that being said,
Bro, you gotta get that, man. You're gonna offend a lot of people not doing that stuff, man.
I understand. But we have an event on 31st of March. And so what I would like to do is extend an invitation to everybody and give everybody 2 free tickets to the event. Who would like to go?
What's the event?
The event is the Taste of Black Baltimore. So it's at Be More Fit Studio, which is on Beaumont. Is that Beaumont? Is it Beaumont? Belmont Avenue.
B, Windsor Mill, Maryland. 1718 Belmont Avenue.
What time is it?
Yeah,
2 to 6,
2 to 6.
March 31st. It's inside of the agenda.
Say what? So the purpose of this event is we're under our Economic Development Committee, we're doing a campaign called Eat Black Baltimore, Buy Black Baltimore, and Hire Black Baltimore. And so under the umbrella of Eat Black Baltimore, we're doing two projects. One is the Black Restaurant 365 tour, where once a month we go to different restaurants and bring support to that black-owned business. And then once a quarter, we bring together black caterers and expose them to consumers. So this is our first event for that. And this has been a collaboration with a partnership that we have with Black NBA, the Black Chamber, some of our Masonic friends, and BPO. So what we want to do is be able to give our tickets away to our members and our guests. So we have 60 tickets. I don't think we got 30 people in here. But we like to, for those of you who would like to go, we'd like to give you free tickets.
How much are
They're $20 a piece.
Is that for everybody or do you paying,
The latter.
for everybody?
Well, for right now, if you came to the meeting, then you got a free ticket. Regardless, if you're here at the meeting, you get a free ticket.
We
So-
can people buy the tickets, because I feel, I know a couple, they want to, or maybe participate.
Yes. On social media,
I think
you can get it. Yeah, we have an event, and we can direct them to one of our partners. But I'll give you my information, and you can connect them. So, does anybody want tickets to the event?
I would
Great.
like one, please. What did you say the date was? Are you handing them out by Tuesday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's even better.
So, you wanna go?
You wanna be on the road, you wanna go live?
So one of the other things we want to do is one of my favorite events.
The Taste of Black, let me explain what the Taste of Black Baltimore is.
Break it down, Jay.
So, brothers, we all have a huge network. We know chefs, we know food vendors, we know restaurant owners. So this is a chance for us to bring them all together, that you can come and get a taste of Black Baltimore. So I noticed that we have one vending spot available, so I told my wife she can have that vending spot. I'm gonna make her do some crab tacos, and she gonna make them overnight, and it's delicious. So basically, vendors are coming with free samples, and if you wanna buy, or we ask you to support the vendors, that's pretty much all it's about. We are Ties and Dots because we found a Black-owned spirit vendor who will be there with beverages. However, it's not about coming to drink. It's just connected to Dots. I've never heard of a Black-owned spirit vendor, period, let alone for it being Maryland. So I'm an advocate. For those that don't know, I serve as the president of the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce. So I'm a huge advocate for minority businesses. And when I see something that's of quality, I want to express it and showcase it as well as connect the dots. So the Taste of Black Baltimore is just to connect the dots with a lot of the food vendors. I've been a judge for the Taste of Baltimore for the last 3 years. So I pulled her in as a partner and said, look, sis, you need to be doing this with us because you got all the chefs and all of the up-and-coming chefs that people need to taste and experience. So that we're bringing the younger chefs with the older chefs and just kind of basically having an event where we can showcase the Taste of Black Baltimore.
I asked a question because of Mr. Boyd, did you send out an email out for?
For me? Oh, I do an email blast personally about what I'm doing. So if you read an email blast, they have the meeting for tonight, they have us going to flight after this, I DJ at Movies after that, and then Thursday I have a board meeting for the African American Cultural Festival. Friday is a happy hour for my birthday, Pisces season, y'all. Y'all can make it Friday. And so I do a weekly blast so people can see what I'm doing. Because they say, well, Kendrick, I want to know what you're doing. So I started doing that, and it's actually working. If people say, look, keep that name, keep the name fresh in their mind and say, oh, he don't just DJ. I forgot he was the president of this and do this and do that. So it kind of connects that dot. That's all I'm doing. Mr. Hassan says I'm a great dot connector, so that's why I try to stay true to being like Jay and connecting the dot. We work in so many different facets and meet so many different people. Like Teddy has an event where he just looks to connect the dot. So that's what we do.
Great. So we're gonna go into one of the segments of our meetings. I would say one of my more favorite segments is that it's called a mastermind. So we have a mastermind session that we do on first Mondays, and we also do an online version of that, a video version of that on the third Mondays. But it's a platform to allow people to put their business challenges on the floor, and then you're able to get a wealth of experience and knowledge on that. So if you wanted to kick that off.
Once again, good evening, everybody. Good evening. All right, so yes, like Hassan said, first Mondays we do the Mastermind Mondays over at Collins Seafood and Grill in Owens Mills, I guess they were called. No, Randallstown. That's Randallstown. It's on Liberty and Alfred Road. If you're not familiar, Collins Seafood is one of our business partners and one of our partners in our organization. Which reminds me, Hassan, I have a check for you in the car because if as you come and we support the group, we support the establishment, and they donate a portion of the money that we spend with the at the restaurant. They give that back to us in the form of a donation. So that's a fundraiser for us as well. And we've been giving us a check almost about every 2 months, and it usually comes out to be about a couple $100, which is actually pretty cool. Yes. So
Is that why he just he has surgery coming up on his knee and the opportunity to start taking over?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He takes care of some things for me as well as he's one of my customers. So good dude. You haven't been
And it's glad to go proud of alum.
Absolutely. Yes. Both of them are family, so I'm always want to support them.
Yeah. The food is good.
Yes, delicious. So at the meeting, we like to get together and politic with everybody, and what we do, it's just like it says, as the word says, it's a mastermind group. So it's a chance for us to get together and share experiences, business experiences, both good and let's say experiential. We don't want to say bad, but but we like to throw out challenges and we like to discuss certain things that's going on in our business, because the idea of it is that if if we help everyone's business, especially if everyone that looks like us had a better business, then we can hire more people that look like us, so that they will have better futures. And this is what our contribution to ensuring the future of the African American male is in our part. So with that, I like to just, I just want to challenge everybody to just think of something that happened in their business, be it good or bad, and that they might want to actually put on the table and let us all just kind of pitch in and give an idea and opinion on it. And so if anybody has anything pressing, I would like somebody to volunteer.
Quick question real quick. So is it for, if I'm aspiring, right?
Yes. It's for, yes, absolutely. It's for current business owners and aspiring business owners. And we're trying to, and we have a good way of cultivating that. We're trying to do that a little bit better, far as, because we do get a lot of aspiring business owners, and about 70% of our time is being spent on that right now. So it's a good place to get some encouragement, some feedback, as well as definitely some questions answered.
Yeah.
And I tell you like this, at our meetings is actually it's pretty serious. Like, that there was, and I'll give an example. There was a gentleman that was there who's interested in doing a bike rental. He was doing, and to his surprise, there were, there was investors there. Okay, there's current business owners there, and so he was able to connect some dots there. And one of the gentlemen there had already had experience in the industry that he was already dealing with. So that was a major help for him. And this young fella, he was under the age of 25, and so he was very excited and got a lot of great feedback. So the point is that, and I look at this. What we created here was an opportunity to have a more targeted networking opportunity, because a lot of times we network and we might hand out a lot of business cards, we collect a lot of business cards, but at the end of the day we wasted about 2 hours of our lives because we didn't contact anybody, nobody contacted us. So here we have a targeted opportunity for us to network intentionally, and so when people give that type of feedback, then you have a reason to say, hey man, what were you talking about with that again? And because I wanted to add something, or I wanted to get something from you, and things like that. So that's what we kind of do.
Oh, I was volunteering.
Please.
So, this is technically not something that's happened directly in my business recently, but I watched it happen. And so, if you're not familiar with DJ Quicksilver, he had a huge situation this week that really tainted his brand and was kind of out of his control. So I want to say this probably happened to my business over the last 10 years that I've been in business. So maybe someone has tainted my brand without me not knowing about it. So with that being said, I want to share that scenario, but I want you to really think about it as the organization. Because I've seen someone mention, now I won't say any names, but I've seen them mention, well, Black Professional Men, what are they doing? You party too much. Well, you obviously never came to a meeting to see what we really did. So when it comes to things like that, I want us to just have this discussion on how we can communicate in a non-defensive way. So I'll share the story if you don't know what happened to Quicksilver. They had it was supposed to be a prank guest scenario where they had the 3 hosts and a young lady. So there's Quicksilver, 5'9" are the male host, and Danny Starr is the female host. And so the thought process was this International Women's Day, and they wanted to have a discussion on, do women that actually look good get the short end of the stick sometimes for being an attractive woman. So the scenario was that Danny Starr was looking for a nanny, and when this young lady reached out to her about being her nanny, she was like, "Oh no, you look too good. I'm not having you in my house with my kids and my man." So they wanted to have the conversation. They were trying to make this conversation around, well, can you look too good? Is it fair for women to be discriminated against them looking too good? Even if the man said, "I don't want her in my house either." And so that was supposed to be discussion. It really got out of hand because at the end of the day, it's her house. You can control who comes in your house. And so that's where the line should have been drawn. The object of this conversation is just what happens when there are people who try to taint the brand of Black professional men, and how do we respond in a way that's non-defensive, for one, and two, doesn't hurt us in a way that like I saw it hurt Quicksilver. I've known him for 20 years, I know that's not his character, but they were bashing him, like, I don't know anybody else, but anyone personally that has had 7,000 comments of a post. Literally 7,000 comments just saying, you ain't S, and you did it, and I can't believe you did that, you set up your co-star, and all this negative energy that was going through him, so I'm assuming he had to hire publicists, and do all this damage control, it even got up to Kathy Hughes, this is her baby, it's Radio 1, Kathy Hughes responded about it, it went viral, everyone, and so my conversation is not about Quicksilver, it's just about the conversation of us having to defend our organization if that happens to us. And if that's clear, did I say that correctly? I didn't mean to take that much time, but I want us to have this conversation of how we can respond non-defensively if someone was to try to attack our organization.
I can say this, that's powerful. We go ahead and start right now.
Okay.
And the way we wanna work this is, I wanna actually hear some input from everybody. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna start with that brother there because he raised his hand first. And we just wanna just take it and we're gonna come back around the room until everybody just had a little input and just throw a little something in on the table that we can chew on.
First of all, I would say the world's a bully. You gotta learn how to deal with bullying, first of all, that's bullying. The way to respond to that is actually speak out the words, just keep doing what you do. You gotta defend yourself from nothing. If you real about who you are, it's gonna speak for itself. It's gonna always matter that's gonna hate on you or say something. The world's a big bully, so don't even worry about that. Just keep doing what we do and go hard at what we do. That's it. It's simple. It's a formula. Good.
Thank you. John? Take a media angle at it, and I would suggest we might want to do PSAs with our friends at WEAA and other nonprofit radio stations in the city.
I like that. So be proactive on the media side.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say make an effort to publicize what we're doing. And if I was directly in front of someone who did that, I'd say, listen, we got a youth dinner coming up. We've got a youth mentoring session coming up. What are you doing? That would be my response.
My response is surround yourself with positive people. There's several people in this room right now that, so the same person that we're probably talking about, the same person who said some disparaging things about BPM, I called Teddy, and I was like, let's get the bats and chains and go see this dude. You know what I mean? That's just how I felt. That's just how I felt. And Teddy was like, nah, let's chill, let's think about it. So you need to surround yourself with people who have your best interest in us. And there's another instance where I was into it at a club. I see my man here, and he was like, dude, you have a brand to protect. But I was so upset at what happened in the club, I put my brand to the side because I was just so mad. So when you surround yourself with good people, then they will come. So I think maybe Quicksilver, I don't know, maybe when that happened, somebody should have been on his cell phone or a pager or something.
Oh, his wife tried. She called in to the radio station and wowed him out, y'all. Like, can you imagine going live on the air and your wife called in like, oh, this is messy. Don't you cut, yo, and she took the girl's side over her husband.
But don't they have,
and it went viral, y'all.
And those radio shows, don't they have to kind of talk about what they're going to do?
Yes. And another story has come out. The producer notified everyone, all three parties, that this girl was going to come in. The girl never existed, though. She never responded to Danny, so they just made this up as a prank. But it went wrong because Danny got in her feelings and emotional, and she had it was International Women's Day. Can y'all imagine 100, 200,000 women mad and coming at KYS?
I got believe the earned that morning. I was like, this is real.
This is real.
Really
By noon that day, Quicksilver had like 6,000 more followers from the morning show who were not there to support him. And I just, in my mind, I saw how he responded. He tried to apologize. He tried everything. And so I just wanted to hear from the brothers because we all have different emotions. And like Lewis said, somebody coming at me, I'm from Emerson Village. You gotta stop thinking from the hood. We gotta be smart. And so that's why I wanted to have the discussion so we could, if that day, if it comes or something happens, we all know, oh, we talked about this. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna smile and keep doing our thing and let the work do the talking. However, we all need to have the discussion. So we still are emotional we men first before the organization. So we gotta be respectful of the game. And so if you come at the organization, it's almost like you're coming at us personally. And so we gotta be able to protect the brand in a manner that still showcases that professionalism. That's all I'm saying.
Kenny, it's your waiting glass. Your waiting glass, okay.
Yeah, you wanted to be last.
My 43 years have led me to this. Like the brother said, actions speak louder than words. And one of the things that we have a deficit of is controlling the narrative of of who we are and telling our own story. And so what happens is that a lot of times when things go to the left like this, we don't have a lot of our own personal media outlets that we can tap into to get the positive words out fast as the negative word get out. You know, bad news travels faster than good, oftentimes. But what our challenge is, and that's one of the reasons why I sit at this table and come to the meetings and a part of this organization, is because this is my attempt to control the narrative in my own community and in my own house. So, you know, it's important for, you know, first of all, as a man, as a professional man that sees, dozens of people every single week that sit in my chair, dozens of men, and I have a chance to communicate with people, and we have to be able to control that and show us in the best light possible, and so that when these things happen, people can look at that as a blink, you know what I mean, as an anomaly, as opposed to the norm. And so, you know, right now, other people have established us as the norm of and those types of things. And so and then our women, of course, are emotional as well. So just that whole feminine energy and that whole element of being able to, you know, because at the end of the day, we're supposed to protect these women. And, you know, when our women are upset, it makes us upset. You know what I mean? And so as from a communal standpoint, you know, so we want to do things to remedy it, but at the same time, we're here because we're trying to control our narrative. So as we're having events, as we're doing positive things, and I'm for one that got to step my game up as far as making sure that I put out the positive things that we're doing, because, you know, when we see more of that, when you see that, it's just like, oh, okay, you can hand wave that, as opposed to being like, oh my God, and diving into it. You understand what I'm saying? And contributing to the drama. You know what I mean? Because like anytime it came into my bedroom, I was like, then I had to go and see exactly what happened. Because I'm like, oh, wait, she said, you think she coming in? I was like, oh, let me see that again. but the point, hey, I'm keeping it a buck. So it was like, she said, but the point is that, you know, we have to take personal responsibility to do a better job of controlling the narrative and being more vigilant and displaying ourselves in a positive light. So when these negative things come up, they look at that as an anomaly as opposed to the norm. Right. Okay.
I think the best approach to any war is to understand what your weaknesses are. And if you are a black man in particular with a positive mindset and your mind is on ownership, there's going to be arrows that's going to be shot in your direction. So I like to take the Eminem 8 Mile approach, where I look at what the weaknesses are. What do people actually say about BPM? So the first thing they'll say is, let's say a women's organization might say, well, you don't support women. You only doing scholarships for the men. And you say, well, no, we don't. We got the Taste of Black Baltimore has Chef Cat. We did Black Girls Vote. So there's women support. The mastermind event is co-ed, and women come in and get business advice all day. So that's out the way. The other thing would be, well, you guys are too clean cut. You're too buttoned up, and you know you're not in the trenches with this organization and that organization. And it's like, well, BPM has a certain standard, but everybody has a task, and everybody is welcome. If you get to know the different brothers in the organization, you'll see that people might have came from the guttermost and made it to the uttermost. And so, you know, you just have to look at what people will say and just realize that this organization's been around since 1991. Think about what you were doing in 1991, and BPM was still around, still existing. So consistency leaves clues, success leaves clues. So you gotta sit at the mountaintop and just realize that people will always have something to say, but you can't be the track record, and you just have to stand on that. That's simple.
So I think, before I moved to Baltimore, I lived in Atlanta, and I was a service tech. And so, I used to listen to talk radio. And one of the things the guy host would always say was, never believe anything I tell you unless you're going to research it yourself. And so I start off with that because there's going to be two types of people. There's going to be people who just going to just listen to what they hear and react. And then there's going to be people who's going to listen to what they hear and then research. So the only thing we really got control of is making sure the content is available to those people who are going to do the research to be able to find out what it is that we do. So I would say that our focus would need to be on that, because in most cases, 99.9% of the time, you're going to be interrupted doing that thing to say, hey, there's somebody saying this. That's my thought.
Good evening. John, for those that may have forgotten my name. So a couple of things thank you for bringing that up, because this is something I've actually dealt with personally, specific to the organization. And what it speaks to is conflict resolution. So I just want to put my 2 cents on conflict resolution. As note the source. Some people are just malcontents. They're going to be disagreeable no matter what. So don't waste your time trying to appease that person, but do listen. So listen is the second step in that, and then ask questions to kind of clarify what they're talking about. The third thing that in conflict resolution for me, dealing with that or anything that may come across BPM, is know your information about your organization. So have some facts that you can throw back at them. Include that. And as you throw those facts back out, the next step is to invite them to either assist, participate, or observe what the organization is really about. And then the last thing you want to do is remember to represent, much like what Brother Lewis was saying. You represent the organization, and I've had some problems with this in the past where I let my emotions get the better of me in a situation, and someone had to remind me, you're representing us right now, you need to calm down. So that's something to remember. Keep control of the situation, de-escalate whatever's going on, and go from there.
I think I like the de-escalating part of it. I like that from a spiritual aspect, you're going to always have a lot of haters and naysayers around you. How you handle the situation is based upon your level of peace and comfort within yourself. If you tend to be a person that's very irate and easily agitated, you respond more out of emotion. But a lot of times we have to learn how to represent a brand as polished and professional as we can be. And sometimes that just means being quiet for that moment and coming back to reapproach that situation. I bring my daughter to these meetings because I want her to see what black professional men look like, so that when she gets older, she can say she sat amongst kings, and she understands what to look for when she decides to be involved in relationships. And that's an important piece of black professional men for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a part of it. It makes change in everybody that we touch. And that's why these festivals are so important. That's my name.
Coron here. So I heard a lot of really good, feedback, a lot of good comments. I would say mine kind of piggyback on yours, where use it as an opportunity to gain some knowledge and perhaps even find weaknesses in organizations. So maybe there's some truth in what's being said, so use it as an opportunity to listen and try to understand and be a little bit self-reflective of what's being said, just in case there's some truth in it. And then after that, you know where to go, improve, advance, or mature in whatever area that is. And I also like the other one about just making sure we're out there first, putting out your message on a consistent basis. So in these days, like you said, 6,000 hits, whatever, or follows, that's the era we live in. That's going to be around for a while. So that means our organization needs to be out there as well. Putting out into social media. So if someone says, hey, you guys are doing this, you can just say, well, go follow us over here. You can look at all our pictures and all the stuff that we're doing in the community. So you can quickly just get out of that situation by just having the ammunition ready and being preemptive, which I think is why this, bringing up this point of discussion, just to make sure we get our ammunition ready so we can fight that war when we need it.
So I'd comment about continuing to do what we're doing, right? And also to listen, not to be defensive, be open. If
it could be an opportunity to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So do what we do, listen for opportunities to grow, and just move on.
Heard somebody say a long time ago, any publicity is good publicity. Just have to have, how you have to spend it. Newspaper guys do it all the time. We live in the city, I don't know, 400,000, 500,000 black people, we don't have a black newspaper. Nobody buys the Afro anymore, as I know of. Muhammad Speaks, everybody thinks that's a Muslim paper. And the city paper's gone down the tube. Those are great outlets. Everything you see on social media is kind of like a knee-jerk reaction. Just emotional reaction, because it's cheap, it's free, it's easy, you be unidentified. I would say, like my man Willie said, be consistent. Just keep doing what you're doing. You have to be defensive. Donald Trump said something about putting a tariff on imported steel the other week. Stocks went down just like that. Where are they now? Right back up. It's just a knee-jerk reaction. Just a knee-jerk reaction. Anybody got any money in stocks and steel? You right back where you were. I wouldn't cave in. Oh, now, I got 2 granddaughters, ex-wife, wife, mother, and 2 daughters. I'm kind of old school. Household, man is king, or the head. Like my father told me, anything more than 2 heads is a monster. Ain't one head in the household. I used to take my daughters to different things, but there were certain things, it was men. That's back in the day. Women didn't come to men's barbershop. They just did. I don't want to go to no hairstyles with my wife. I just don't want to do it. They've never invited me to the woman's barber. And nobody never said, Ray, come on, this is the woman's barber. And I love them. Well, and it's okay to keep some things separate but equal. I just firmly believe that. Because you can't dilute everything. You can't mix, you can't dilute everything. But as far as the hit on your image, just keep consistent. You don't have to be, because when you try to justify everything you're doing, you start to become defensive. And people just, the more things you throw up, that we doing this, we doing that, you've been doing it all the time, so why, it's not news now. If you keep saying, well, look at what we're doing over here. But they say, they got you on the run now. So those are just, to me, those social media just knee-jerk reactions. I wouldn't,
Well, I don't involve myself in social media. So I think that what a couple people have said represents how I feel. I feel like if you be consistent and do what you do, time will tell whether or not you are accepted by people that's doing something opposite. And so I feel like the public memory is pretty short. So if he just does not aggravate it, just let it simmer down. It will outdo itself, because there are a lot of people right here at this table that have been criticized about something. But, you just can't stop the handle. Because that's like, keep doing what you do and you overcome it. So that's my whole thing. When I feel like it takes time to overcome things. Keep it on and keep doing what you're doing. And I think any of these individuals that were talking about BPM came to the meeting, they recognized it, came up with positive things. So that's how I feel about it.
I'm not really a big guy on presentation, on perspective, because I know perspective of things are just based on somebody's knowledge of what they know. When I think of everything, when I think of any type of ideology, I always think about the opposite. I'm a computer scientist at heart. I think about binary of zeros and ones. Everything has a duality. There always has to be an opposite, equal opposite to something. Only one point. We're all black men. We all have our demographics, but our main two demographics that we fall in line with is being black and being a man. Most of the battle that is taking place here is for being a black man, but primarily I see it as being black. When it comes to being a man, that battle in itself is, it used to be like, it's the top of the top. But now it's being fought against to be just a man itself. Especially with like Hillary losing her fight, and like we got pussy grabber in the office. Women are angry all around. Like they really angry. Like they don't even want men in their life like that. So when you know, like with that thing that happened with Dude on the Radio, when I listened to that, I was like, man, you messed it up. Like as I'm listening to it, like I know what he wanted to do, but he probably should have let that go. I mean, I understood it. I fully understood it because he's pretty much right. Like she still is judging somebody off of something that has nothing to do with her skill set, but that was the wrong battle in the wrong place and the wrong day on International Women's Day.
Right.
That's it's extra wrong.
Definitely.
Like he definitely had a battle that he wanted to get across, but he could have did that enough time, place, and everything along with that. I think the main thing for it though is to be able to, like you say, be able to put that information out there about who you are and whatnot, because like you can't really lead a horse, you can't make a horse drink the water, so you can't make them understand, but you can at least have that information available so that if they try to look for it, they might find the right piece of information. I think one of the main things would be to find out all these other people that's angry like we are for our oppression. Yeah, I mean, they got their own minor, I can't call it minor because that's putting under, but they got their own battles that they fighting, and we're trying to find some connection with their battles. Women got their battles, black women got their battles, black women that don't want to be black women got their battles. Like, if they consider themselves non-women, how can they find a connection with black professional men like that? It's just putting that synaptic fire. I try to see left and right brains like that. So I just look at that and try to work with those angles. Yeah.
So before I will give my comments about how to protect the brand, each of us need to realize when we step out of this room, we're representing each other in BPM. So we must carry ourselves because we are the first impression of BPM that someone will see. Second, if a person is coming against BPM and we're face to face, or even through social media, I have to teach my staff that there's something called a blameless apology. Mr. Joe, I'm sorry that you feel this way about BPM. However, and then you go into a service recovery mode. However, I would like to invite and encourage you to take the opportunity to visit our website, come to one of our meetings, and you and I can have a conversation offline, a personal phone call, period, and leave it alone. They're either going to follow that advice, but at the most part, it's going to minimize their right.
Right, sure. Thanks, Bill. Anybody else? Yeah.
Wow.
Amen.
So, just powerful comment. So, like I said, I've been in the organization 19 years. So, you know I've got it. Wow. This is a lot. So, here's what I say. And this is what I do not only within BPM, I do with my work, but who I am. And inside of me is a part of BPM. That most people, there was a time when people thought I worked for BPM. I didn't have any other job. Seriously. Oh, yeah, take what you BPM. No, I don't get paid. So, obviously, that's how intertwined my name was with the organization. And I'm proud of it. There is not anything in life that man touches or creates that's perfect. Nothing. Not me, not this building, not BPM, not Baltimore, not the United States, not the earth. There's nothing that man creates or touches is perfect. get that out there. So when I'm meeting with someone, the first thing I try to ascertain is what's their motivation. Are they asking a question, or are they making an accusation? Because that's two totally different vibes. If you're asking a question, then that means that you are prepared for it, and you're prepared to learn and listen. If you're making an accusation, all you're going to do is defend. And I don't have time for that. I think one of you guys said this is when I was in membership chair. First thing I used to do, especially when we were like doing services or community work or network or whatever, and you got 100 people coming past you at the same time, and everybody wanted a piece of it. The first thing I used to do, here's my card, go to the website, do some homework, call. Because if they did that, that was going to let me know that they really was down about serious about finding out. If they didn't, then now something got in the way, not the right time, or that their interest wasn't at that level. The next thing is, like I said, somebody said, have you been to the website? A great tool. Do you know, have you spoken to the president? You know, just like if I had a restaurant, you own a barbershop. If you got a barber that's cutting somebody's hair when you're not there, you would hope that if somebody had a grievance, they say, you know what, I need to speak to them. When I manage a branch of Bank of America, and you know, we have 200,000 employees, there is 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 employees at any given day that doesn't do their job. But that's not the reflection of the company. That's not the reflection of my office. So even if there's a formal BPM member or a formal activity, it's not necessarily the total of 1991 to now. Yeah, we messed up in some things. Man, I did a flyer one day. We had a happy hour on a Monday, and it was a guy dressed in a suit and a gal dressed in a black dress. It had cleavage. It wasn't showing anything. Oh, but I got lit up by sisters. Lit up. And this thing's 1,000 times. I go like this. No problem. I'll take it down. I took it down. Trust me, I always pass the eye test, especially when it comes to the brand of the organization. And my guy who did it, and he was like, you gotta be kidding me. We've had girls, we got real girls with lessons on this, but we took it down. I've had people who said, you know, all you do is party. I said, you missed the 10,000 things that we do, but you're focusing on now. That's because that's your will. That's not mine. That's not mine. And if you ever, even if you still have that question, what time? It is 7:56. I'm 51 years old. There's a million places I can go. And I chose to be here, just like each one of you guys. I'm not putting any money in anybody's pocket unless it's on you start there every year. I know you got more than somewhere else to go. Some of us have kids, some of us have grandkids, some of us got significant others, some of us got honey-do lists, some of us got to work on a project before tomorrow morning, some of us got classes after that. There are 1,000 places they can be. And that person who's usually making that accusation, I think those are 1,000 places. They're not putting them away. Then, here's the other thing, and I appreciate you giving me some time. You cannot convince sanity for a person with an insane mind. You can't. You don't have the skill set. Neither do I. If you see 2 suns, I can sit here all day and I cannot convince you that there's one sun in the sky. I can't. And that's unfortunately, the highest office in the land has somebody that does that. So we know it's real. And then finally, don't go back and forth on social media. It was a guy that me and Hassan has been in his establishment 3, maybe 4 times. We have, when no one else is there, have sat down and broken bread with the brother in his restaurant or whatever. Blew us up twice on social media about 2 or 3 years ago. Blew us up. And I had to give it to him. He was calm. I was ready to go in, but I said, I went back and forth once, and I didn't stick to my mantra. I said, you know what? It doesn't matter what I say. He's gonna feel his way. And the main thing that I didn't have a problem with his beef. I had a problem because he has his cell phone number and he has my cell phone number. And all he has to call, and he's not a young kid. He's the same age as right around where we are. Teddy, I got a problem. Call me. And he did. Twice he did this. And I'm like, you know what? There are certain people that I'm glad Facebook has this nice little function. Delete. So keep doing what you're doing. Like all of you said, the work speaks for itself. I am not claiming that BPM is perfect, but I can tell you one thing, and I say this all the time in any speech that I give. Next to my father and next to my family, I am absolutely supremely proud of what this organization has done and the majority of brothers that have walked through those doors and some of the things that just, you know, you just have to be here. And since 1991, we've gone through kids getting married, brothers passing away, brothers getting promotions, brothers hiring this, brothers cleaning up dirt in Sandtown, to we building houses, to we doing community work, to we going to computer labs, to we going at the Urban League, to we marching, to we going to DC, to we doing block cleanups, to we coming and doing homework, to we doing, we used to have a program where we take guys and put them in our clothes that we donated and show them how to interview. You know, the list goes on of what this organization has done since 1991. And you guys, I can tell you right now, there's no shame in what we've done. So I'll leave it at that.
So we're about to bring up Shadi. He's going to talk about our membership committee. But before we do that real quick, or while he comes up, can everybody Google Black Professional Men? And the results you get is intentional.
All my guests, all my visitors, keep raising up. Good evening, good evening. Good evening. All right. Just in case you, did not remember my name, I'm Shadi Q.E. Laser. And today the Q stands for membership. Membership is, we are BPM, we're in BPM. In case you did not realize, because this was something that I didn't get the big picture about in terms of membership's role in our mission to ensure the future of the African American male. We're in the membership business. We're in the membership business. So your membership contribution goes to all the great programs that we do and all the great campaigns that Teddy just mentioned and all the different things that we stand for. We don't put kids through college on hope or on thoughts. It takes membership, it takes different donations, it takes our contributions in order to do that. So it is very important that in my role with membership, along with John Harris and Anthony Carr, that we put together the organization behind the scenes to not only track where the money's going, but also to make sure that one of the things we're working on is the whole idea of what's in it for me, meaning if you're a BPM member, what are your benefits? So that's one of the things that we're looking at. So one of the big factors that we're looking at is basically organization to member services. What does that mean? So if you are, like I said earlier, when you come to BPM, if you whatever your touch point may be, you may talk to Hassan, you may talk to Kendrick, you may talk to Larry, you may go to a BPM event as a guest. Every single person has a skill. Every single person has a specialty, a talent, a passion. So what we're making it easier to do more so than at any other point in history is leveraging your talents to ensure the future of the African American male. And how does that work? So taking the mastermind event, for example, where there's different categorizations called level 1 events. So what that means is if you're a guest at Collins Seafood and you go in, you step in the name of love, you have a couple drinks, you buy some wings, they kick back money towards the scholarship. So it gets no better than that. And there's different event series that happen on our calendar that you see on the open up brochure that have that capability. So the whole question is, where do you fit into this? So sitting down with myself or with John or other members of the membership committee, I want to know what your skills are and what your talents are. So keep in mind, I'll give you an example with Chef Joe Perkins, who came into the fold through the mastermind. Joined BPM. He's a chef. He wanted to more or less get his name out there as a chef, build his reputation, so on and so forth. So we sat down, and that's where the Black Restaurant Tour 365 came from. So you've seen Black Restaurant Day, Black Restaurant Week, and this is the first time I've ever seen a Black Restaurant Year. So he's at the forefront of that and getting his brand out there, but at the same time, it benefits the overall community. Different members can come in, get the BPM experience, and ultimately join as well. So you have that capability, whether you are, let's say, an IT, or you're a speaker, or you're a mentor. There's always different ways to accomplish that. So let's say another example would be Leroy McKenzie, which many of you may know. He's a business coach. So in his particular case, he's going to be doing mentoring and also business and entrepreneur series. So we're going to start him off with the online. So to build his audience up, he gets to meet online, so on and so forth, and then we build that up to everything that you have to put together is your venue, your cost, and building your audience. But leveraging the BPM network, you have the opportunity to do that. So for my guests and my visitors, the BPM membership options are listed. Once you get on board, you can have a discussion. Finances in terms of having to, let's say, pay the whole amount. There's different payment plans that are available that can help you to get started. What can you commit today? And then we work behind the scenes. It's not broadcasted or publicized, but it's making sure that, again, your contribution goes to our overall mission. So when we look at that, the brochure, like I said, has the benefits, and I just want to go through a few of those briefly, in that the network itself is a prime time benefit, meaning you have, again, if you try to build your little business on your own, it's only going to go so far. But to be able to reach across and make real connections with people in networks, like if I talk to Teddy, who's been around for 19 years, he knows a whole Rolodex of people. Everybody has a network at this table. So when you get to connecting with different people, I talk to Hassan, he points me over here and there, and that's how we all win. So the network is a benefit in itself. Going to be rolling out mentorship for those of you who are business owners. You also get the opportunity to participate in the BPM coupon book. So it could be 10% off of this service or 25% off of that service. And so that's what we're looking to roll out pretty soon. And that's going to tie in with the rewards card that Hassan made. If you think there's let's say, an attack against BPM now, wait till people start rolling around that. Wait till the news goes out about BPM is creating its own economy. That's a little bit later. So black-owned business economy. So the other thing is that if you are, let's say, professional services, so there's a number of, I'm personally a business coach for SCORE / Small Business Administration, and there's different resume writers that are within the group. So the whole premise is that if you lose your job, you fall upon hard times, or you're in a job you hate and you want to transition to a career, entrepreneurship that you love, the network is going to guide you along. So that is being rolled out as an additional benefit so that you're not just flapping in the wind, or you're not sitting at this table going through a struggle when it's like, okay, this is what's going on. And that's where the Real Talk series comes into play, where you can discuss these things in a safe environment. And also the Mastermind series, where you can sit down and say, okay, this is what I want to do, and you get the support for that. So once that's identified, then somebody works with you one-on-one to get you up and running, and you can leverage the network in terms of different discounts and services to get up to speed. So the whole idea is to work with existing members to transition them from where they are today to lifetime members, and for the people who are at the table who are new to the BPM mix, guiding you along, giving you all the resources that sit at this table, as well as the people who did not arrive, and structuring it in a way that you have no choice but to succeed. You can't lose because everybody else is holding you up. So if you have any questions for me, on the brochure, the contact information is there. Like I said, I'm Shadi, and we can reach out, have a call, do a video Zoom session or phone conversation, and I'll answer any questions that you have, and also get clear about what your goals are with the organization so that when you step in it, we're addressing your role with BPM in terms of what you love to do, what you're passionate about, and that'll be your journey along BPM. So when you get to year 2, we say, okay, your event series had 25 people. How can we get you to 50 people in 2019? Thank you.
So, again, obviously y'all could have been anywhere tonight, but I chose to be here. Few housekeeping rules or housekeeping things. What do you think about the new location?
Nice.
Partner good.
I have to navigate, but I'm good with it. Like, if you went to Morgan and you hung out around here, you had an edge, so you know what to do.
It's a new building.
It's a new building.
Yeah,
but
So-
you gotta say where the Heckinges was.
I'm just gonna tell you.
And like
I
the
went-
street parking, I'm like, you know, because I'm thinking I'm in Philly. Philly is the worst place to park, by the way. Because the sign will say park here, but only on Tuesdays after 3, or 4 after Labor Day.
But there's a free lot over here.
Okay. So,
No, but I like it. That's nice.
So, but thanks. So I think we're transitioning pretty good over here from the museum.
How's your relationship with the people that you have to talk to here?
Omar,
Muhammad?
Yeah.
Oh.
former president. So I mean,
It's all about.
That's that networking we talk
Yeah,
about, that's that
yeah.
BPM network.
yeah. So every year we have our flagship event. Okay, our Ray of Hope Scholarship and Rewards program. This year is going to be a dinner. This year is the 25th year. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that we're going to change things up a little bit, and we're going to make it intimate, and we're going to have it limited to just our members, our sponsors, and the scholars and their families. Okay, so we're going to have it at City Hall. Right. Our founder was able to pull some strings to get us to be able to be at City Hall to do this event, because you know sometimes big is not more, sometimes less is more. So we wanted to be able to celebrate this milestone with us, by us. So there is limited seating. All right, you don't have to bring your significant other. For those those of them that ride and die with us. Taking Joe's advice, I told my wife, and she was like, "I don't gotta go for real." Okay, okay, all right. So again, the information is gonna go out pretty soon for that.
You already have the date?
Yes, it's gonna be June 15th, a Friday night.
The mayor's gonna be there?
It's always a possibility. It's always.
What time?
6 to 8.
Scott set this up?
Yes. So so I would highly encourage you, if you want to come, as soon as the information go out, purchase your ticket. Because it would not be those scenarios in the past where, we can squeeze one more in. Because the thing that has to occur is that we have to put you on the list for the security desk. So there's no call us up on the day of and do that. We have to do that 3 days in advance so that they can do the background checks on everybody.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. So
Right.
so yeah, so this is
How much the tickets?
the tickets are $50.
Okay. 6 p.m.
Yes.
How much are the tickets?
They're $50.
Each.
Yes. Yes. They're $50.
Semi-formal?
You could call it semi-formal. The uniform gonna be black suit, white shirt, gold tie, black socks.
He might not get that.
But yes.
Didn't I pay for a ticket for something else?
That's, yeah.
We got you covered.
Yeah, I had to say.
You wasn't at that meeting. You wasn't at that meeting.
Okay, I missed something.
Yeah, you wasn't at that meeting.
Okay.
Yes.
Logistically speaking, wouldn't it be more significant if the superintendent of schools showed up besides the mayor, other than the mayor? The school superintendent had more intimate contact with the school system, the mayor's just a figurehead?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah, I mean, the mayor has,
Only issue with that
That's
is
not what
we're
we're
giving
gonna take.
scholars awards that represent Maryland. So if you go with the superintendent, that means superintendent of Baltimore County too. Because there's some scholars in Baltimore
if
County.
you're gonna go with the mayor, you're gonna go involved with the city.
We're in the mayor's house.
The mayor don't own it, the citizens do.
Absolutely.
So you get the push.
No, I got it.
However, but the political clout that we gain, by having an intimate dinner setting with the mayor will outweigh the school superintendent
Who also has a very, very, good relationship
with the state.
and none of that, but the, police commissioner. I get your point, and I'm with you too. The school system is a whole nother conversation.
She owns the school system.
She does not. She does not.
That's right, yeah, well.
She does not. That's why,
Right.
yeah. You're getting all the blame for the results of a school system that you have no financial or operational input. None. She
I'm
has
not
none.
gonna debate with you, so if she doesn't, she has any ownership, what's her connection?
What's what?
What's the connection, just
Association.
a sideshow?
High association.
Okay. So it's just a political sideshow,
What is a political sideshow?
having the mayor there.
No, have the.
Actually,
We're
one of
just
the things
looking
that
at City
PPM
Hall.
always did.
So understand this right here. You guys are the superstars that's there. If the mayor decided to come and pay her $50 for a ticket, whatever it is.
You're not gonna charge $50.
I understand, but what's the
But it has to be paid from somewhere,
So,
it's a cheap
so let me
gift.
say this, hold on. First of all, BPM was founded with Kirk Smoke. And then second of all, we used to have, years ago, an annual meeting, sit down with the mayor, whoever that was.
Yeah, one step in.
Right. So,
And that's still on the agenda for this year.
yeah, regardless of, you know, it's almost like this. There may be one brother that didn't get anything in this meeting, is still this meeting working? We might not get anything out of that, but is it working? It's better than not. So, you know, that goes to one of those things that naysayer, those people say, you know, you're meeting at Morgan, why aren't you meeting at Coppin? You're meeting with the mayor, why don't you meet with the lieutenant governor? You know, come on, okay, we'll put that on the agenda. But we're doing something. Something is good. Something is on there.
They celebrate that.
So this is the one of my favorite parts of it. So as you know, a few years ago, we came up with this thing called My BPM. So I know My BPM is relationships, right? I love the relationship that we established. So for my visitors, which one of you would like to make our BPM your BPM? Great.
All I wanted to know is where I can get my money to, so I can get this thing going.
So do we have anybody any closing remarks, anything we got going on before we proceed to close?
Question, the mastermind, what time is it on Monday?
We get there, we started around 7. So, we get there.
Catfish is good.
Yes.
Catfish, macaroni and cheese, and green.
And we try to get there a little earlier to eat, and then once, but by 7 o'clock, we wanna start the conversation. So we actually get there around I get there about 6:30.
Anybody else?
I want everybody to have a flyer, so I'll get the door when you get ready to leave, so that you can see what my event is about.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Sessions has an event every year. It's the first Sunday of May. It's phenomenal. I would just say go and figure it out later, because you're gonna love it. All right. He has a table or area for Black professional men, and one of the things he does at this event is he awards I think it's three or four scholarships.
So I gave 3 last year, I'm only giving 1 this year. What happened last year is that, one of my barbers had died.
Okay.
Committed to his kids. So, they outgrew me, you know,
Okay.
they're very smart, you know, so they didn't need any help this year.
Well, that's a good thing.
But always carry one of our clients, like, take them over to the college, you know.
Now, the tickets that you purchased from Mr. Sessions, he donates a portion back to the organization. So again, it's one of those situations where you can enjoy yourself and help the organization.
That portion is $10 each. Yep.
Friday night,
Purchase.
Friday night, we're having a happy hour, okay? Friday night, we're having a happy hour at a black-owned hotel. And we get a percentage of everything that is made. So if you go there and you buy some chicken wings and you get a drink, you're helping some kids, you're helping the community.
Who's DJing?
The music is provided by DJ Fox.
Still kind of my birthday, so I might have a guest DJ, so I can have.
And I know, shameless plug, also, at, Torino Paint and Wine, having a couple, event, there, $70 food, hopefully you'll be there. Also conversation, and so forth and so on, so if you're interested, let me know. The last one we had singles, and I think my man came.
What's the date?
29th.
29.
So if you want us to do something different, this one. If you want to do something different with your mate, it's a real nice look.
Oh, yeah, Thursday, okay.
I have about seven spots left. Only 50 couples.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, son. I'll call you tomorrow, sir.
All right.
Okay, appreciate